Okay. Now begins the sales portion of our meeting. How many of us posted a social media video? Video. 1, 2, 3. You did too?
Oh, I didn't post, I shared.
Jen Mendoza
Share
did
my
it for me.
I heard somebody told me that she's back at Marcel Mohuja's team.
Something like
Is
that.
that you tell me? No, it was you.
I saw her post something about it.
She's doing wealth stuff now, stuff about building wealth.
All the best to her. I
I'm
wish her
gonna
the best.
block her now.
I wish her the best. So, social media, video. Raise your hand again. 1, 2, 3, 4. How come the rest of you didn't post a social media video? You did 2 open houses this weekend.
I post like
You did
My-
post, I shared yours.
I shared.
You did a social media video?
not video, like I post a sign.
I'm
pictures.
specifically asking about video.
No, I did
Okay,
2 social media.
so everybody in the room has the job between now and Monday, whether you're on the team or not, whether you're licensed or not, to post something on social media, video, about real estate. It doesn't matter what it is.
Okay.
Make
and-
sure it's factual or it's your opinion.
Can it be one of those videos you sent to us?
One of the canned videos, no, it needs to be your own video with your own face.
Photoshop your face on the
Jeez.
crank.
Alright, moving on. How many of you in the room have had a 411 with me in the last 7 days? Raise your hand. 1, 2,
7th day.
raise it high, raise it high.
I was gone for my 7th day, but I got
Yes or no? You got one, okay. If you haven't had a 411, you need to schedule it. So it is a requirement because Patty is going to be leaving us shortly and heading to Guatemala
Poor Patty.
to get down with her natural heat.
Oh, good.
So we need to have a 411 because we need to dive into your database and make sure that we're on top of stuff there. So please schedule it with Jody today or this week. All right, our appointment,
Ooh,
Sure.
this is gonna be an interesting.
is that accurate? Because I was putting some people's appointments up there.
Yes.
Okay, so who's the winner?
Josephine.
Josephine.
She was sick the whole week.
She said
Wow.
the both
Yeah.
of those appointments were when she
Josephine.
came in sick too. I think how many?
That's right, Brandon, that's right. That's right, Connor.
All right, 2
I
claps
like
for
what you-
Josephine. Clap, clap. Good job.
Yay.
She is our appointment set, appointment held winner for the week.
Now I need a chicken for the party.
What?
Chicken for the party.
Chicken for the party.
Yeah.
All right, so that is done. Brevity, how are we doing on brevity? What's going on?
Okay.
Scale of 1 to 5, 5 being I have mastered it and I can teach a class next week. Where's everybody at?
Oh, God.
Where are you
I
at?
didn't use it.
1 through 5, where are you at?
4.
You're at a 4.
I've been using fine and putting on my database there and I put my notes and I've been doing.
Okay, so I'm letting you know, if anybody else,
No.
no, I'm just telling you, if anybody else in the room says that they're below a 4, you're going to teach a class next week.
Oh,
on brevity.
no.
I was gonna say,
So
I'm
you want to
at
adjust,
3.
you want to adjust your.
Okay, let's put it 2 or 3.
Okay, moving on. Where are you at on brevity?
I'm good, but just the tags, I'm not a fan of the tags.
Okay, well, we can't change that, but where are you at as far as usability? 1 to a 5.
It's easy to use.
5.
You're a 5. Okay, fair enough.
I'm a 4. My hardest thing is gonna be getting like on qual and like so from attempted contact to.
So, guys, remember I gave you a sheet,
I have that.
where it says what's unqualified, what's inactive, what's trash, what's hot nurture,
Same one
please.
from Sync, right?
Yeah.
So
That's
that is
not
the-
working.
Yeah, so it's, actual in brevity. So, if you don't have it, please reach out to me before 12:30 and I'll give you a copy, so you guys can put it there.
So my problem with it is,
No, you're.
my problem with it is that the tags are, there's new, hot, nurture, watch, inactive, archived, unqualified. Those
Okay.
are all of them.
Okay.
People that I talked to when they were in sync, they're at unqualified. So if I talk to somebody and they said, I'm good right now, or I had talked to them in the past and they said, we're planning on waiting, or I don't need any help at the moment, I had them in sync as contacted, because they're contacted leads. Brivity though, if I've called them since then and they haven't answered the phone in the past 2 or 3 times that I've called them, they're still an unqualified because they don't have any plans, so I'm not gonna make them a watch and I'm not gonna make them a nurture.
So be inactive.
Patty doesn't like
It
them
will
to be
be
unqualified though, so what do I do with those people? Cause they're not inactive either. I wouldn't necessarily put them as inactive, but I would
Why
put them
not?
as a watch.
Why not?
Because if I spoke to them a couple of months ago or a month ago,
But if they're telling you that they don't want any business from you.
it's
They're not telling him anything.
Or if they told me that, hey, we're gonna be waiting a year and a half, like, I wouldn't consider that.
Well, that would be a watch.
Well, regardless, people, or someone that I talked to in the past but I haven't been able to get in touch with, I still don't know where to put them yet.
Okay.
However, she's taking that as I haven't called them or I haven't had the conversation with them, but they're contacted leads.
Okay.
There's a missing one.
So
there.
what would be the closest tag to contacted?
Watch.
Inactive, because you
Inactive.
realize,
I agree.
They,
You know-
they're telling
you
you
know they
that
have
they don't want to
plans.
do anything right now or in the next year,
or just.
but you have talked to
Okay,
them.
so we'll just go flip them all to inactive then.
Or just send them back to the pond, because at that point you may be able to bring somebody else in that you have talked to. If you haven't talked to them
Because she
since,
sees a bunch of unqualified stuff and she just thinks I don't ever touch.
Or, you know what, there's a check mark that says leads, I just unlead them, because then they will be part of my leads, I don't need to waste my time calling them.
And what happens to them when you uncheck them?
They're under
They go
people,
to
they're under people, and then I put a note in the task saying, call them in whatever number of months.
Josephine
Under
is,
tab.
She's a 5.
And-
Josephine is cheating the system. So in her lead, she has 75, but in her people, she probably has like 200.
Yes, I have a
No,
lot,
because she-
but I
she's
don't call
farming.
them, I
Yeah.
don't waste my time calling them, I focus on my 75 to 80 that are in there.
But then,
Yeah,
then
the
a
thing is-
year from now, you go to your people.
No, but then you,
and-
that's why you have the thing that says task, so you can have the reminder, oh,
Exactly.
the task
Yeah.
comes up, oh, I gotta call
So
them today,
Joseph-
it's been
Joseph
The
three
thing
months.
is
is
at
that
6 right
I've
now.
seen that some of
Yeah.
the agents are not.
And then in 3 months, they'll be like, hey, I'm ready.
And what I'm
Okay,
asking
then I'll check
them right
off.
now is to call the leads from today through Thursday.
So it sounds
That's
to me
why we
like
can get
this is not a
passwords.
tag issue,
Yes,
this is a notes
yeah.
Yes.
and task issue.
No, and tax as
Is
well.
there?
The status, the thing is the status, cause
But
if
if
it says
somebody's in,
unqualified.
if somebody is in, what do you, attempted, not what's the other one? What do we just-
Unqualified.
Unqualified, and you go in and you see the notes that I've called them and I'm gonna call them in 3 months, and are you now coming to the surface telling the agent you're not doing your job? No.
Yes.
She might you, but not everybody else.
So if someone is out of a watch status, which is 6 to 12 months,
Yeah.
it should be inactive, right?
Correct.
Okay.
You have the notes,
Yeah,
right?
so and an unqualified could still be the attempted contact. Even if you talk to them in sync, I think after switching a platform,
Unqualified means you just don't have an action yet.
you don't know.
They're not ready to buy, they've fallen off the
No,
face of the earth for a
unqualified,
while.
it says attempted contact. Inactive, it says that they're not looking to do anything
For
Yeah,
the next 12
in
months.
the next 12 months.
Foreseeable future.
Yes.
yeah.
So so then what Josephine is saying is if it's inactive 12 months or beyond, she's unclicking leads, so it goes to people. And then
Right,
she
and
can
that's
still
a
keep
whole
tab.
nether, because I don't necessarily agree, I don't know enough yet, but I don't necessarily agree that you can keep your own pond, and I'm not sure that that's what you're doing.
That's what she's doing.
That's what it sounds.
No,
what
there's
she's
not
doing.
people who are not interested to buy it.
In
Yes,
12 months.
It goes
Why should I
inactive.
work with those
It
people?
just goes inactive.
But he's saying you're keeping your own pond by the pond, so you
I'm
have
not
a
saying
smaller
it's a
pond
bad
and a
thing,
bigger
that's
pond.
what it is though, because where'd you get those 600 leads in your people?
Because they're my farm,
She's farming.
I farm them,
So-
they're my,
From her
from
neighborhood.
Rhodes Ranch,
So
so I
she-
call them and.
Okay,
yeah.
so I
Yeah.
got it, I
Yeah,
understand
yeah.
what you're saying now, that's why you're not having an issue, because it's a farm.
Yes.
It's a
Okay.
specific farm.
So it's
Okay.
not. So it's not like.
They're not a
me.
lead,
So it's not like
So we're
me
gonna-
who brought something out of.
So
Right.
here's what we're gonna do,
our
I got it, so here's
Yeah.
what we're gonna do,
okay?
we're gonna allow you to keep the farm right now, because we want to,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying, we're gonna allow you to keep it right now the way it is, because I understand the value of the farm, and you might be doing something that's a benefit for another agent,
Mhm.
even though it's not part of our normal active sales pipeline process.
Mm.
So leave it alone, you're good, we're all good that you're good, we might use that to our advantage, because he might farm, he might farm something,
Inspirata.
Inspirata.
yeah, and I'm not even talking physical farm, I'm talking, this could be a,
Oh yeah,
um,
San Diego.
absentee owners.
Yeah, you can put that all.
We're not
there.
ready to throw them in the pond because there's no value and they didn't come from the team.
Right,
okay, we're throwing the fish back into the pond that you can't qualify in 12 days.
Mhm.
That's what we now have an understanding.
Yes.
I'm all good with somebody farming, as long as we're really purposeful in that, so
Oh,
we're
yeah,
good,
and I
leave
love
that
that.
alone. All right, so you're at a 5, how are you at with revenue? Okay, what would we need to do to get you to a 5?
I thought there was some training scheduled,
Not yet.
not yet?
Can we
That would
schedule
help.
that today
That would
with
help.
Brevity? Can we get a hold of them and say we would like to schedule a
The thing
training?
is that they only have 15-minute training, and we don't want a 15, we need an hour.
I was gonna say
No,
15
they
minutes.
told me, they're
minutes.
like, we'll set up a training for you whenever you want with your team specifically. So go, just get a hold of our success manager, whoever that is, and say, we wanna do an hour training. And these are some things that I know we need to cover, and I will have them before the training, I'll have a list of things that they also wanna cover. Okay,
Hey, when you
schedule
put
that in.
inactive on a lead, it takes your all leads goes down by a number. So say I.
It's
go
like
to
if you
lead-
uncheck the check?
No, if you,
So for instance, say I go into a lead and they're an unqualified lead, so say I have 100 leads in my database.
Mhm.
If I go on, click on a lead and I put them in inactive, my all leads is now 99.
but does one of
Perfect.
the other numbers change?
No.
Like people, you sure?
So that's a
It's
good
still
question,
assigned
that's
to
a
you.
good question between you and Patty, to figure out what happens with that lead, where it now is parked, and
It's under people.
not here.
Yes.
John, scale of 1 to 5,
3.
what would make
I
it a
don't want-
5?
I don't want them to be under people. Database.
Maybe using the email campaigns a bit better, knowing how to just take a quick look at my leads and know what's going on, because I'm still kind of, I don't know, there's like too many things for me, it's just a little confusing, but, yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
So like in sync, when you would see a report on the, like you would see the list of all your people, and there would be a column that tells them when was the last time they were touched, or they touched you.
Yeah, it was just easier to see.
You know what I'm saying? It'll tell you, oh yeah, they looked at their properties. they
Not in a
looked-
bad way for those.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was just a lot
But now you
easier.
can't even see
You can't
that.
even feel them.
Now, you realize you can scroll over, guys, you realize that.
Yes, but it
That's
says-
the thing that I hate about Brivity is that there's like just infinite row of shit that I can just go scroll over to. I mean, it's great, there's a lot of info, but
You only
I
need those,
just kinda wanna look at it here. Is there any way to like
Snapshot
move the
it.
column over
Yes.
right.
and make it one of the first three?
So that is a good email to send to Patty,
Okay.
so that when we do a training, we can ask those questions.
Okay.
Okay. I already asked you,
It's hard to see the notes and
how are you
stuff.
doing? What's your scale 1 to 5?
Probably about 2.7.
2.7?
Very, very accurate.
What's the
What would make it a
0.7?
3?
Where's the rest of the point 3 from?
I feel like I got it. I got my leads in there. I'm working with my leads and I updated my sphere. I just need to, I feel like I do it on my iPad and then it looks different at home from what I see when Patty showed me.
Yeah.
On my desktop, well, not my desktop, on my laptop at home and on this, like I see a different thing. So like property search, I can't, there is no property search button on when I go home or when I'm trying to send it to somebody. So, I
Okay.
don't know, just, I'm behind, I got an old laptop, I got an old iPad, so maybe I'm just outdated, but.
Can you bring your laptop in?
I don't know, Miranda has a very,
Can't
very
bring
old
it.
computer.
It's really old.
Can't move it, it's too
It's
late.
Not a laptop.
Maybe fix it up.
I got a visual on that.
Would you like a suitcase like
It has to be, it has to be plugged in all the time, so it doesn't go down. As soon as you take the plug, it just dies.
That's Miranda's
Generator,
computer.
laptop.
It's old school. It's
All right, fair enough. So how about you?
Me?
Yeah.
I think I'm a
pretty good.
4.9. No,
Miranda's
because there
fine.
was one
We're
question that
separating
you had
you
today,
two.
right? Yesenia, there was like a little plus sign next to a little silhouette. I didn't know how to answer it. I didn't know what that was.
Oh, yeah, I've got one of those, yeah, it's like a person that
With
has a plus sign.
I'm like, what is that? And I
Inactive
didn't
aren't
know.
coming into my leads or my people.
Okay, we'll deal with it later. Let's, what did you just say, Tracy?
Well, I was gonna, but we don't need to dive too deep into brevity.
No.
But there was a place to put relationship, and I wanted to put my contact
Yes.
wife's name and
You
all
wanna
that
check
stuff.
yes?
But like, it's only relationships on another contact in the system, it doesn't have a spot for
Wife or.
wife, it has to be like a solid other contact in
Can you link Brevity to a Tinder account?
That's a great question for Fernanda.
But, hey, yeah, does that work,
I'll
Fernanda?
ask the
Great bounces.
Right, so send Patty an email, because I think these are very valid questions. But we also know that we've asked them to do certain things, and they've been able to do things. So I don't wanna say that they can't do things on the back end for us. I think we owe it to ourselves to bring it up and let them know.
And so are we receiving multiple leads now from?
I don't know how many have received a lead in the last 7 days.
I got two since yesterday.
I got one yesterday.
I got one.
And it will
yesterday.
take, for the new system, it'll take 30 to 45 days for them to understand the, what is it, the words, the AdWords, like to hone in on the AdWords and our locations. It takes a while for Google to really accept all of that data and have our stuff come up. So
And
just,
how long is it taking you to reach out the new leads?
Took me 3 minutes yesterday.
Thank you.
Okay,
I
so,
was in my open house and I read it, I think, oh,
so less than 5 minutes. Is it taking anybody longer?
Yes.
Because we can see, yes, Brandon.
Well, I was gonna say, well, no, I was just saying, cause the trash, I'm pretty sure that these leads that you put as inactive, they go into a trash bin.
We're still on that.
Yes.
Yes, because she's bringing it up to me.
Of course, because
Brenda,
I'm
just put it
asking
for
you
watch,
for that
just put it
sheet,
for
and
watch.
in that sheet, it says that
shit?
trash, archive, and inactive, they won't show it on your database. If you could bring that sheet, you can read that word.
I have a solution, just put them as watch and then unclick the leads.
They're not watching.
We can have a
It
one-on-one.
doesn't matter, at least it will
We
be
can
out
have
of
a
your leads.
one-on-one after the team meeting, so, we can ask, we can answer all of your questions, because we're in a team meeting right now.
okay, response time, I got the lead on my phone, we'll text, and I called them, I'm not close to a computer, there's no app, I don't know my password unless I'm on my computer because it's already logged on in and I don't remember my password otherwise.
Okay,
So I did call them in 5 minutes, but I didn't log it in until later.
that's okay.
That's okay,
If
because
I
we
don't
can
want you,
remember.
yeah, but I just don't want you guys to see that I I didn't call them in the first 5 minutes when I really did, and that's frustrating.
Then when you log it, say,
Okay.
I logged it.
So when I got my lead, I went to my phone and I logged into Brevity and I put all the details there, right there.
Yeah.
So right away.
She just didn't know her password,
Yeah.
that's all, that's the only reason why she would. Now, if we start seeing, called within 5 minutes, and that's that's the trailing that happens with all your leads, Patty's gonna be like, hey, let's have a conversation here.
Why
I
don't we get
would-
an app instead?
Huh?
Why don't we get an
You
app?
can can open up the website
They don't
mobile
have-
version.
Yeah.
They don't have that.
And they are working on an app, but you can open up the website mobile version. So if I
Yeah,
need
that's
to
what I
reset
did.
your password, I can do that. Something easy like Tracy1.
Oh, now I know it. You take all the leads.
Take it out of there. All right, so what I'm
You
hearing
can
you
send
say
me
on
text.
Brevity, guys, what I'm hearing you say is, I know how to get into the system, and I know how to use the system. I'm still having complications with how to tag my database. I would encourage you to grab the pipeline, okay, the lead pipeline, read it, comprehend it, keep a copy of it with your laptop, maybe keep a copy of the legend, keep a copy in your bag, and then when you do have an obstacle, send a quick little text or email to Patty, say, hey, I got an issue here. We will discuss it as a team. If we don't have the answer, we will ask our Brevity to help us through that.
There's customer support we can call, right?
I don't necessarily want to call them every time you have a little problem, knowing that other people might have the same problem. I want to run all of the issues through Patty at this time.
Okay.
If you have a technical problem, yes, but this is not a technical, this is, why is this the way it is? How do I do this versus this? That's an operational and an understanding issue.
Okay.
It, like, when you have a technical problem though, my leads just got deleted, what the hell?
Yeah.
Or I can't log in, or I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z, and I can't, and I was before.
Yeah.
That, feel free to call them,
Okay,
okay?
cool.
Respond to the leads within 5 minutes, log all of your activity. If it's not in Brevity, it doesn't exist. And make sure you meet with Patty before next Tuesday. next Thursday. Okay? Now, Patty, those who turned in their calendar over the weekend did not get a username and password for Vulcan 7 and Cole Realty.
Vulcan
It is-
7 doesn't change.
Well, it will.
Okay.
And is there a reason why?
Yes, I had my conversation actually with all of the agents and asked them if they can hold all of their leads and invite them into the carnival. And it will be a good way to contact all of your leads, past clients, and so you can change the status of your leads that are not updated on Brevity.
So as of last night, when I met with you, has everybody, or has anybody on the team contacted and notated that they have contacted everybody in their database?
No,
Okay.
which, yes, Joseph.
Some of them, okay, some of them are really close.
Gosh.
So until we contact everybody in our database, you will not have access to Cole Realty and Vulcan 7.
So if they constantly don't answer, you can just push them to.
Just,
This is
no, and I think the attempted is what, she's looking for the notes that
So-
I have attempted to contact.
Okay, so
Oh.
you're
all these
looking for a
people.
call or?
Yes, please,
something
Roberta,
to- Okay.
I always say, please, notes.
Yeah.
It's everything about the notes. And if you guys, write notes and everything, I'm not gonna start, pushing you or anything.
And I would even say I want 12 attempted contacts. Because we know that they're not necessarily gonna respond once or twice or 4 times. So 12 attempted contacts would give you a pass, and contacting everybody else for 2 reasons. 1, we have an event on Thursday, and 2, we're in a new system, and everybody needs to know about the new system. Okay, their email might have gone to spam, they might be trying to get into Vegas, see Vegas Homes for Sale, they can't get in. You owe it to them to try to re-engage them into Team Tippy, okay? So once that's done, and she validates it, verifies and says, yes, you've tried 100 people with 12 contacts, and you've gotten 100 people or 180 people that you contacted, great, here you go, here's your passwords, you now are back in charge of your database, okay? Because we've been working on this for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks now. I don't understand how come we haven't really tried to dive in and contact our database. I think that's our highest opportunity. So last night, she's relocating, she will now become virtual for the team. So we met last night at my house, we went through everything, we overcame a bunch of objections that she and I had, and one of the things that I felt is still out there was her holding you to the highest accountability of nurturing your database. And so the question I had was, is there anybody on the team that has killed it out of the park? And the closest was Josephine, closest. And I said, great. They're gonna wanna get into Vulcan 7. They're gonna wanna get into Cole Realty because that's easy. Database, these are people who already know them, they've already contacted once or twice, there's more rejection there. And I said, this is the way for them to get back into their database. Okay, so we have an event Thursday. We're sponsoring the Cotton Candy Machine. I hope you're all
Alright.
gonna be here. Hope you're all gonna be in your shirts and clown outfits for some of you.
What's
You know
that?
who you are.
We're 7.
Yeah, something like that. But we're doing the Cotton Candy Machine.
Is your niece coming in and doing it?
Yes, she's gonna come in and show us how to do it. Okay, so any questions on brevity? So let's schedule a brevity training. It's not going to be on a Monday, but let's schedule that. And let's get that scheduled today between Patty and Josie. Jody. All right, moving on. Bold. First step, how many in the room have signed up for the 7 steps of bold? How many in the room have signed up for 1 step?
1 step.
Everybody who's on the team is going to first step. It's free.
I
It's
signed
going to be just down the road from here. That'll be awesome. Even if you're not in real estate yet and you're not licensed, you can still go to it.
With who do we sign up?
Just go to, well, we have, let's make copies of the sheet that we got last Thursday, have them fill out the top. Okay? How many in the room, by show of hands, are committed to doing the full 7 steps of bold? Cost not an issue. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, cost not, it's not free, but we'll go, if the only reason was cost, we can overcome that objection. Okay. So we need to have a conversation over the next 3 days about that. We have a little time, but we need to overcome that in the next 3 days, okay? And then I'll go through the opportunities that we can do, what I can do for you, and we can make it happen. All right, so let's get everybody signed up for first step today. Team building suggestions. So Amelia, I'll just let you take over.
Do we have suggestions?
Suggestions, no.
No,
What do
we
you
haven't
guys have?
received
Oh, but that's
any.
the
Dodgeball.
panic room, whatever that's called, or laser,
The
laser.
escape room.
Jody.
The escape
We
room.
still haven't
The
received any
escape room.
emails, guys,
About what?
about the suggestions, times, dates. any
Oh.
of
So
that.
every 3 months, the team does some sort of team building event. 3 months ago, we did Dining in the Dark. And that was a pretty cool experience. It was a better experience for some than others. John will tell you it was a little weird for him. Before that, we did Top Golf.
Which place was that?
It's the only one in town. It's off of like,
I know which place you're talking about.
yeah.
It's called Blackout.
Yeah, Blackout.
Blackout, yeah.
I was nauseous the whole time.
Before that, we did Top Golf. So about every 3 months, we try to do
Didn't
something.
you do what's that thing called? It's kinda like a Chuck E. Cheese for adults. Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, we did Dave and Buster's, yeah. So we need to do something sometime in the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
And so I'm opening it up. It has to be team building. We have to stretch, who we are as a team, getting to know each other, helping each other. I don't wanna just go to a restaurant and have dinner and a bunch of drinks.
Let's go trick or treating and pass out business cards while we trick or
Awkward.
treat.
And I'm not dressing up.
Can we do a mystery dinner? Like-
So that's one of the,
I
there's
love
like this,
that.
there's,
Dining in the Dark again.
no, what's
No,
the
mystery
thing?
dinner,
this-
where
this
you
whole
try to
thing
solve a
on-
murder.
I don't want any dark.
Oh, a murder mystery.
Yeah, murder mystery, let's do that, we have to work as a team.
So, that's kind of the escape thing that I'm being
Yeah,
told about, where
yeah.
you have to
But
work
that's
as a
not,
team.
but the escape.
It's
thing
different,
comes in.
escape is different, and we,
Well, we could do dinner afterwards.
yeah.
Or before.
We have a budget, it is what it is, so,
Pay for your own drinks this time.
yes, thank you.
Can we look into murder mystery?
I never realized you guys could drink so much, and I never realized Moscow mules were $15 a piece.
And murder mystery is good, cause it's gonna be Halloween next month.
Yeah,
And
so,
we're-
Because they're so delicious.
so I think what Jody and Amelia are trying to say is, guys, let's get really purposeful. Otherwise, it's gonna be skydiving for everybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bungee
Oh, hell no.
Don't
I-
say that.
Calm down, let's go.
I'll do the pushing.
Kidding. All right, Amelia, you're up. Anything else?
I can do it any weekend in.
A nap?
October. Yeah, Saturday or whatever day.
I'm at the end.
Oh, okay, you're at the end. One of the other things, speaking of team building, that our coach has talked to us about, and for those of you who are not on the team or don't remember, we coach with Brian Guberneck, Jason Abrams, and Brett Tanner, who Brian Guberneck and Jason Abrams are, they're the top 10 in Gary Keller Williams, and they are top 100 in the country. They do on average of $150 to $175 million in production. They're up there. Jason was here last month, maybe 4 weeks ago, and a lot of the top producers in town were at his event, so that was nice to see. But one of the things that we talked about that I think is important for us as the team grows and as we get into higher levels of production accountability is a fire team. And Brandon kind of discuss it in a way that everybody's gonna understand. But basically where we have a team captain, and then we have agents in that team, and then we have 2 or 3 teams. And the captain is kind of a sub-team leader, kind of helps them through the daily obstacles. And by that captain having that hat on, they also get a little bit more piece of the pie. So they're incentivized, and it can be rotating, it can be, that's a level that we try to get everybody into. And so it's a junior leadership position, and they, by helping the team hit their numbers every day, every week, every month, they also get incentivized off of that as well. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, so basically, I mean, you kind of covered it, but a couple of different teams on the team, and like you said, there's a captain of each team. These teams kind of compete to see which team can do the most numbers, and I don't know what the reward will be, but there will be a reward,
Yep.
so to speak, for which team does the most production, and we can do it on a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, and then we can go from there, switching team captains, but it kind of just sparks a little bit of rivalry inside the team.
And
which is
support.
great, you know.
And support.
Yeah, support, you know, it's rivalry, it's competition, it's healthy. And I think it'd be something that would, one, be great for the team's production, and I think it would actually kind of be fun too, so.
Yeah, because I will tell you all right now, next year's, whether we hit this year's goals or not, next year's 300 closed units. 300, so we're not doubling it, because we are in a down market, but we are intended to hit 300 closed units. So that's gonna be a lot of pressure, and that's gonna be a lot of work. And I know nobody succeeds alone, and many hands make less work. And so by having a team, and by, you know, I mean, we have what we have because we're a team environment. You know, you went on vacation. Client and I have a conversation. We saw the opportunity. We wrote an offer on somebody who was looking for a rental. Josephine, you went and showed property day before yesterday for John. Client called me, I answered the phone, contacted John. John couldn't go and show the property, you went and showed the property. Everybody wins. And so that is truly important, and that's at our core, and that's why we do the numbers we do, because most agents are like, I've got my kid, I can't show, and they lose the business. And we have a team where we can jump in and help each other because it's the right thing to do.
Yep.
So I like this team captain concept. I think that we could develop it. I think that we could roll it out at a high level. We could be pioneers on it, and I think that I'm willing to throw some cash on the table. I'm willing to throw some trips and some events and some whatever. You know, I love to, you guys who are already on the team, you all know I love to throw money at competitive things. I love to pay people for what they do. Nothing motivates us better than money. So think about it between now and Monday. And on Monday, I would like to have a serious discussion about it. And I'd like it to be kind of a large part of our sales meeting. Okay?
And our training.
So think about it, if you've ever been in a situation, maybe in the military and stuff, you guys have had situations where you've had platoons, and I wanna kinda uncover that and see what those opportunities are. And let's roll that out. Okay? Calendar, I'm not gonna go into a lot of details since we only have a week left, 2 weeks left, I guess, right? So tomorrow we have Shift Book Club. Last week, if you were in that, it was really good. How many in the room were in the Shift Book Club last week? We learned some good stuff. I promise to keep my mouth shut a little bit more tomorrow. But I think everybody got some good stuff out of it too. Then we have a buyer's workshop.
It's one down, you're on the previous week.
Yeah, the previous down,
What
yes.
is today?
Today's
Today's the 24th.
24.
Okay, so 24, so yeah, so we're in the last month. So Scripps Book Club, contract, you guys don't need to worry about that. We do our own contracts internally. But you've got buyer contracts, seller contracts. We have the carnival on Thursday, 4 to 7 p.m. Last year it was pretty successful. They are already getting RSVPs of over 200.
Oh, wow.
So we expect it. Feel free to bring your wives, your girlfriends, your kids, your nieces, your nephews. It's free, it's open to everybody. Use it as an opportunity to invite people, okay? The more the merrier.
Wow.
All right?
200?
Yeah.
Here?
Yep.
Wow.
So,
There's not gonna be any room.
It's gonna be.
it kind of flows.
It's like an open
200
house.
Yeah, it's like an open
RSVPs,
house
what,
concept.
15 people?
And we are doing the cotton candy machine. All right, and then, CGI Fridays, the one thing, if you haven't taken the one thing, I would highly recommend it. For most of you in this room, you either have already done it with me, or you've done it on your own before you joined the team. And for those of you who are new, it will happen again. It's a one-day intensive about focusing on your one thing, and it's modeled after Gary Keller and Jay Papason's book, The One Thing. Any questions on that? There's a kickball tournament on the 30th, Sunday from 11 a.m. to 2:30 at Red Ridge Park. It's Green Valley versus Summerlin. For those of you who don't know, we have 2 offices, and we have 24-hour access to both of them. You can work out of either office. That's the Green Valley office, which is off of
Green Valley.
it's in Green Valley, off of Corporate Circle.
But you
Because there's also one in Henderson off of Eastern, and they get those confused sometimes. and this office.
What about the one right there in Sahara that I never hear about?
That's
Las
Las
Vegas.
Vegas. That's
That's
owned by
not a
Debbie's
secret.
Choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now there's also one north called VIP.
The ones we're talking about are Terry Brinkus, Rick Brinkus?
Yeah, yeah, so we have access to both offices.
You just have to go.
So if I went to KW Las Vegas, would they let me in?
They'd let you in because there's a culture. You just, you wouldn't be able to go up and say, hey, can I copy this? Can I print this? Can I use this space? But they would probably let you use a conference room if one was available, because that's
I'll
just
try to
culture.
steal you from us too.
I like the people over there. I got no issues. Yeah. I mean, it happens. We get people sometimes that just, they need to write up a quick contract. They come in, they go into the bullpen. They even go to the front desk and say, can you print this for me? And we'll do it. It's cultural. Any questions on that?
I have one question.
Yes.
Cause that's what I'm signed to, I signed with them.
Right.
Will I get 24 hours?
If you join my team or you move your license, if you join my team,
Yeah.
yes, you would move your license here physically.
Oh, okay, so I'll just be moving my.
Yep,
Okay.
and then you would have access to both offices and all that stuff, yeah.
Awesome.
In fact, we have an agent who left, she never was really on the team. She was like, okay, I'm gonna join, and then she decided to join Dale Snyder's team.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of respect for Dale. Dale had a conversation with us and said, do you have a problem? I said, no. She went ahead and joined his team. So there's a benefit by being at Keller Williams, that there is a cultural understanding. That, nobody's gonna screw each other, and nobody's gonna go and poach people, even though it maybe happens a little. It's not like, some of these other brokerages. Shift, we all know about it, it's tomorrow, be there, be square. If you don't have a book and you're on the team, I will give you a book. If you are on the team and you don't have a book, let me know and I'll get you one. Carnival, it's Thursday, 4 to 7, here, be square.
Be square.
Somebody besides me talk about Patty.
Patty, talk about yourself.
Just,
She's like, what the hell's that?
What happened?
Patty Porras farewell potluck pool party.
Yeah.
Seriously? You couldn't
Yeah.
get one more P in there?
That's a lot of keys in there.
Yes, it's this Saturday.
Yeah.
It's a swim party.
Are they gonna serve prickly pears?
If you bring the
Patty,
prickly pear,
Patty,
it's
Patty.
It's a potluck,
Pool
so
party.
that nobody feels like
The
they're.
good news is
paying
it's
for
in
it.
it's in LA.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Oh, it's here in Las Vegas.
Oh
at
my God,
Fernanda's
Los
house.
Angeles, this is my.
It's her house and it's in Summerlin, right?
Summerlin.
There's a
But it says-
pool,
it's
you can
says
bring your
Summerlin.
children, you can bring your children and your husband
Pacific.
or whatever.
Outside.
LA is Pacific time.
It says when, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That
it's
does
Pacific.
not
yeah,
make
it's
sense.
just specific.
But it
Oh my
does
It's about-
make sense,
So,
Alright.
yeah, if you guys have kids,
Okay, yeah,
have a
but
children.
You guys write it down? You guys write it
There's
down.
a pool too, right?
There's a pool, you can bring a guest,
Are we
There's a
swimming?
trampoline too.
but bring some food and bring some booze.
Yeah.
Alright, is there any questions on this?
We're swimming, right? We're
Just
not
bring
being
food and
weird adults
alcohol, guys.
Too cool to get in the pool.
So, I'm gonna go ahead and give a blanket statement that I will not be there.
Of course.
Why?
Why would
I have to go
He does
to
not wanna
Laughlin.
witness your drunkardness.
However,
Okay?
we have to be at Chinsia's in the morning. There is a possibility we will be done by 1.
Okay.
And if we are, I will come over for an hour or so on the way home before I
Okay.
leave Laughlin. If I'm not there, do not beat me up. But
Okay.
I will do my best to be there from like 1 to 3, 1 to 3.
Okay.
Okay? But I just wanna let everybody know, like, where's Greg, what? I can't get out of the deal that I have to go to Laughlin, it is what it is. First step, October 9th, everybody in the room is invited, everybody on the team is expected. If there's any questions, let me know. We might be changing the location though. In fact, I heard on Thursday that we are probably changing it.
What's it gonna do?
It's gonna be at
So-
Brad Watts's office, his new office,
I
which
already
is on
signed
this,
for it. Have
like
to be
Durango
going
and
to
the
first
215, so
Brad
it's like
Watts for-
halfway.
It's already
The lender?
signed?
Yeah, he's got a brand new big office with a huge training room.
And nice kitchen, from what I
And so apparently that's
We better have
which is
the
good,
lights.
cause it's centrally located.
Sean.
Okay, you're up.
He says, who told you that?
Okay, guys,
Like, he can flex.
so what was our goal for this month?
10.
10.
Where are we at as of this morning?
8.
8, so I want to recognize these people that, I mean, we've all worked hard as a team, as a family. So good job, Tracy, you have 2, which is Gray Mason and Don Breeze. Brandon, you have Settle Court, Woodley,
Color.
and Thomas.
Color.
Settle Color, sorry. Woodley and Thomas Patrick, and Miranda, you have Gold Dove and Running Iron. Connor, you have Pueblo Place. And you had, a closing schedule today, which is, won't go until
Yeah,
tomorrow.
cause I have no words, so.
But,
Where's my check at for
good
that?
job on that, guys. So,
Is it here?
how many days do we have left?
7, 6, I think.
No. Today's what, the 24th?
We have 6
Monday's
days.
the first 6 days.
Monday is,
How many of you guys have some leads? We need 2 more. Do you have some leads that we could possibly go into escrow this week? You as well?
Yes.
Going to escrow or list?
Escrows, we need,
Escrow, no
we need
listings.
2 more escrows.
Two possible listings.
Even the buyer side,
No.
right?
One of which could possibly go under
Escrow's
contract very
open.
quick, because
Oh,
because it's-
listing.
So-
Good afternoon, everybody. Chantal Rivera with the front desk. If you'd like something, please come to the front. Thank you.
Anyways.
$12.
So, how many of you guys, I'm gonna challenge you guys. 2? for
I
this
think,
week.
okay, if I can get one of the listings that I went and met on over the weekend, not the expensive one, the normal one. That one, if we can get it listed, it could possibly go under contract quickly, cause
So how soon can we get that? We have 5 days, 6 days.
we have 6 days.
They
If
push it.
everything goes well, it could get listed within the next 2 to 3 days. And then we could possibly get an offer in the first couple of days, and then that would be.
And Yesenia has one as well. I'm gonna hold you to it. I'm gonna be harassing you.
Right, that's
Okay.
fine, go
That's
ahead.
fine? Okay, perfect. 12.
Who
No,
are
it
you
has to be a
working
listing,
with?
right?
Who are you
Buyer.
working with
Buyer?
that if you put a little bit of urgency on them to do the right thing, you would get a contract?
Ooh, I could call Denise.
As long as she's in escrow.
Does she have to stay in escrow?
Yeah,
Get her
just-
in.
Yeah, we have to like end the month at 10.
So if you get her now, before she drops back out, we could have possibly.
Yes.
ended the month.
Big Denise, just stay in for a few more days, that's all I need.
So how close are you with yours? I know you're gonna get a pre-approval letter and then start looking for places.
The one that Josephine had captured over the weekend, they are pre-approved, and, the only time they can meet is Saturday. So, I'm gonna send them properties and see if there's anything that we can do to actually submit some offers before Saturday.
Okay, perfect. Anything else? Anybody else? Connor?
Going through,
Eric?
going through my database.
So, that is your job for the week. We all have that as a team. We need 2 more. Failure's not an option. And you are now coming up on your 4th week.
Yes.
So, how many by show of hands think that Amelia has, through encouragement and effort and strive to do the right thing, has achieved 5 stars the last 3 weeks? Awesome.
Thank you.
Vacation.
So 2 claps for Amelia, and I would encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. And I also want to give 5 stars and 2 claps to Jody.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, Jody!
Because you have been a solid rock for Amelia and Rhiannon in her transition.
And for us.
And I know you're the quiet one that, you know, sits in the background a lot, but, you know, you have been the rock, and we really appreciate you.
Thank you, Jody.
Yay, Jody love.
All right. So keep it going. We're not even gonna talk about you this week. We'll
Oh
make-
my God, I start crying.
Yeah.
Any questions?
I have one more.
Oh, go ahead.
One more thing, guys. Know that, I know most of you guys like doing your own contracts and, well, not, I appreciate you guys doing your own contracts, but when you're going to escrow, I know most of you guys like to do your own paperwork. Know that I am here. I want to be here. Send them to me. I will take care of that. That way you guys can concentrate on working on other stuff, because you guys have enough stuff on your plate already.
Well,
okay?
also, yeah, let her know too, guys, every time you open up, and I'm guilty of this too, and I need to start doing that, but we should all start letting her know, especially our contingency dates, because that's just the second set of eyes, because she can just put that on a calendar, and she can let you know a day or 2 before your due diligence, or your appraisal contingency, or your low contingency expires, because those are, reoccurring problem that.
And, you know, and I wanna put a different spin on it. You're right, and here's a different spin. As a licensee, even though we as the team, and Amelia and Jody and John, TC John, work on your transactions from contract to close, as a licensee, you have the fiduciary duty to your client to not blow contingencies. And the problem I have, and where I think we can get better, is as an agent and you're just learning, like, you're just so excited to get the offer. It's like, you know, you're handing the contract over as your client's still trying to sign the last page. You don't comprehend the contingencies. And that's where you'll lose your license if you blow that up. And so, as much as I don't want you to care about the contingencies, until I know that you're at a level that you understand the value of the contingencies, I want you to know those dates, and I want you to put it in your calendar. Because there's no harm in everybody protecting you and your client. But when you don't even know your own contingency dates, that's where, if we were to ever get pulled into GLVAR, the real estate division, and ethically, I know that you didn't know the ramifications of the contract, that's a problem. So I need you to at least know, and by writing it down, you're going to have the highest opportunity to say, you know what, Judge, I did write it down, and I did know the contingencies, and you're gonna protect the team just as much as the team is now expected to protect you. So, as people really know their business, I'm not gonna require you to understand the contingencies so much, but right now, I want you to know due diligence contingency, appraisal contingency, loan contingency, and condition upon sale contingency. Okay? So that is really important. And I want them in brevity. So I want, once we have a new escrow, I want escrow to be opened in brevity as well. And Connor is probably the guy that can help you two put that together, because he and I did not. Okay?
So what, maybe tomorrow we can schedule something and we'll go through it, when you two have time, we'll go through it in a training room real
Yep.
fast.
All right, so it is now 12:30. Do you have anything else?
Just remember, open houses, guys, get with Jody, so we can get that ready, latest Wednesday. We do have our sign guy, you did great this weekend, well, what else can I say, right? But,
You did good, you did good.
good, so, he's gonna continue, so please let us know, what?
To your relation?
Stop it. Thank you.
Yeah, she'll do whatever she needs to do to make sure your sign is.
Just because of the
And
team.
and to get 10
She's-
escrows, cause that
I'm
could
just
help
making
with
one
10
for the
escrows.
team, Connor.